You know me, you know I love the sun. I love the sun. I love being out in the sun. I love it when my off days are sunny. Just a couple days ago, they said it was supposed to rain on all my off days, but I've gotten lucky and my off days have been sunny. So I love it. I try to soak up as much of this vitamin D as possible. It makes me feel better. It really does make me feel better. And I swear I feel like it helps with depression and things like that. The sunlight, the sun just does something to me. I don't know what it is. I love it though. But I hate the summer. I do not want summer to go away, y'all. I swear I don't. It's gonna make me move to an island. But why am I qualified to speak on single mothers if I'm not a single mother? Well, sometimes, y'all, being on the outside looking in gives you a better perspective than being on the inside looking around. Because you just get to see everything from an outside point of view, especially if these are people that you know. And when I tell you I know a lot of single mothers, I know a lot of single mothers. I could go on and on about stories about single mothers, y'all. Like, I mean, I could just name too many of them. I got one homegirl, let's just call her D. Another homegirl, let's call her T. Another homegirl, let's call her K. These are real names. I'm just using the first initial of their first name. I have 3 sisters. I have a mother. I have who else? I have girls that I've dated. One girl that I dated with kids, let's call her T. Another girl that I kind of dated with kids, let's call her T also. Another girl that I dated with kids who didn't even have custody of her kids. I don't even remember her name anymore. There was this other girl that I used to mess with kids. I honestly don't remember her name anymore either. This girl was riding around selling drugs in her van. I mean, crack weed with her kids in the van with her, y'all. You know, I just know too many single mothers. Let's just put it that way. I know, for example, I can give y'all a couple examples. Right now, my mother and my sister, they're into it right now, all right? They're into it. I see the group messages and them going back and forth. My sister leaving these long messages, telling my mother she was never loyal to the family, which is true. My mother isn't loyal to the family. Neither is our father. But my sisters aren't loyal to the family. I'm sorry, man. I'm not saying this to be like full of myself. I'm the only one that was loyal to the family. In my immediate family, there's 3 girls. There's me, the boy, and there's my mother and my father. One of my sisters has a different father, my oldest sister. 2 of my sisters and we share the same mother and father. In my immediate family, I'm the only one that was loyal. The one that's next to me would be my other sister, who's more like me and her. We look more alike. Like, I have twin sisters, but one of my twin sisters, they don't look alike. They're fraternal twins, and I look more like one of my sisters than her twin does, actually. But I would have to argue that everyone makes mistakes as a parent, but none of my sisters are what I would call the ideal parent. And yes, they're single mothers. They've had to do it on their own, and you know, that makes things harder, but there's also responsibility that you have when you become a mother, and a lot of these women just do not accept that responsibility. They still want to be hot bodies. They still want to party and do things like that. Well, all that should go out the window once you have a child. I'm sorry, man. You know, and a lot of these mothers just aren't that responsible. And I know out of some of the names that I named you, the initials without giving people's name, I damn near want to get their names, but I won't. I should just start throwing out names. But one of my homegirls used to sneak her son weed and alcohol when he was like 12 years old. Weed, alcohol, and cigarettes. She would smuggle that to her son when her son was staying with her mother. I have another homegirl who calls her son. I've seen this with a lot of women who have kids. They call their son out their name. You a BITCHASNIGGA, just like your daddy. You know what I mean? They just completely tear their sons out. They call their sons out of their name. They make their sons feel weaker. That's why a lot of boys grow up trying to prove that they tough and end up getting guns, trying to prove that they hard because their mother has emasculated them all their life. I have another homegirl who just gave up taking care of her son. She wanted to party, and you know, a lot of my homegirls are bisexual, so they love going to these gay clubs. They love just screwing everybody. They, you know, all these girls are thoughts. And they bring all these men around their kids. And like my mother had strippers in our house when we was young, and they had the nerve to have pictures of her and a stripper up on the wall. You know what I mean? A couple of them up on the wall when I was a child. Like, you're not even thinking about how your son is looking at you, you know? And so when my sister gets into it with my mother and says that you're disloyal and, you know, you jealous because you haven't lived a full life like me, and what else did she say in the message? You know, telling my mother that, you know, I take good care of my kids, but you don't take good care of your kids. Like, you know, I know my sister, you don't take good care of your kids. You don't sacrifice for your kids. You brought all type of men around your kids. You chose poorly with the people you got pregnant by. You chose a drug dealer to get you pregnant the first time. You've aborted kids. You've adopted kids. And now you have 3 kids. You're just irresponsible, you know. And now you have 3 kids. And you just did not do a good job. When you and your second baby daddy was together, if I'm not mistaken, you were screwing his best friend. I don't know. It was just messy stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Things that you shouldn't be doing once you become a parent. But these females don't care. They throw all that out the window, just like they throw God out the window. You know what I mean? Like, listen, look at these modern day people. Period. They throw God out the window. And listen, man. I know it's hard to struggle and try to be a religious person. That's not what this video is about. So I'm not trying to like speak on religion like that, but I do feel like there's a strong, once religion got taken out the picture, everyone kind of just started doing whatever they wanted to do. And now there's no morality in this world anymore. And I do feel like religion did put things into perspective. It really did. I really do think people becoming religious, if the whole world was religious and submitted to God, I do think this would be a more moral world. I truly believe that. But not everyone's going to bow down to religion, especially with the internet. But back to single mothers. I've seen how single mothers destroy the household. They do not make logical decisions. They do make decisions based on emotion and not logic. And I think that destroys the kids. Nobody's more resentful than someone that grew up, resentful to their parents, than someone that grew up under a single mother household. Like everyone who I know that grew up under single mothers, they can't stand their mothers. My roommate, she can't stand her mother. Her father passed away, rest in peace. This is when she was young. He's probably been gone for probably over 15 years now. And she resents her mother. She can't stand her mother. My ex couldn't stand her mother. Didn't know her father. Another chick I dated, she didn't know her father either. These females that get pregnant by these men and don't even know who the daddy is, or cut the daddy off and won't even let the daddy in the child's life. Like, that's just how cold they are. My mother did the same with my older sister. My older sister doesn't know who her father is. You get pregnant by these men unresponsibly and just go through life like it's like, come on, man. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. Everyone knows what it's like to be, a lot of people know what it's like to be raised under single mothers. They're horrible parents. They really are. And so this is the reason why I stress kind of religion. This is the reason why I'm sexist. I don't know a single mother that did a decent job. And like I said, there's one thing to try to be a single mother and make mistakes. People make mistakes, but it's the constant mistakes and mistakes that you really could have avoided. And at the same time, it's being selfish. Like a lot of these single mothers, they're just selfish. All they care about is having a good time. All they care about is screwing the next man, screwing the next woman. Like I said, where I'm from, the single mothers are all bisexual. A lot of them are. And even people like my older sister, who sacrificed so much for her kids, still didn't recognize or realize why her oldest daughter doesn't get along with her. It's because you never wanted to work. You have 4 kids, 4 different baby daddies. Just was irresponsibly getting pregnant by all these different men. Hopping town, putting your kids through just the craziest situations, being homeless. Instead of working and trying to get on your feet, you kept on asking churches and stuff for help. And she spent her whole life living like that and put her kids through unnecessary situations. And that's why your oldest daughter, it's always your oldest kid who got to see everything. They're probably gonna resent you the most a lot of times. And you put your oldest daughter through all these things. Just like my oldest sister and our mother. She resents her. Half of your kids don't know who their daddy is. Well, my nephew doesn't know who his daddy is, out of my oldest sister. You got 4 kids, 4 different baby daddies. My niece doesn't know my niece who her mother are into it right now. She doesn't know who her daddy is. She knows who he is, but you know, he's not in her life. And so, my sister, you went through all these relationships with all these men instead of just focusing on your kids. They hardly ever put the kids first. They put themselves first. And they make bad decisions because of their emotions. You know, most women, that you need a man. Like, I don't care what any of them say. You need a man, because if you didn't need a man, then why do you have such a high body count? And why do you most women go to men for support. I don't care if it's some old man tricking on you. If you selling coochie, that's a man taking care of you. If you're leaning on the government, that's you're leaning on a patriarchy to take care of you. You're leaning on a male-based system to take care of you. Welfare, food stamps. The government is taking care of you. The government is your daddy. So yeah, and they say they don't need a man, but you do need a man. And for some of the women who are even successful and make money, you still have all these men coming around your kids, but you say you don't need a man. Then why are you screwing? Why is your body count still rising once you have all these kids? Why do you got so many different baby daddies, but you say you don't need a man? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. You need a man, but you so screwed up in life and screwed up yourself and your kids. You don't know what you need now. But it was a man. You should have just, you know. And a lot of people get to thinking like this because they don't come from a healthy household where there's a mother and a father in the household. I would argue that a single parent household that was raised by a male dominated household, is going to do a better job raising their kids than a female. I just really believe that. Because there's going to be more logic. I believe there's going to be more sacrifice. These women aren't willing to sacrifice their young years. They get pregnant at 18, 16, 15. You know, they end up in their early 20s. They still thoughting. They still, like, my ex has so many different men around her. Her oldest daughter, her oldest daughter is going to grow up to resent her. So just like my mother and my sister are into it right now, my sister says, "Oh, you're a horrible parent." But now your oldest daughter, you have an issue with your oldest daughter, because my sister was like, and yeah, me and my oldest daughter are into it right now, but we'll get past that, or if not, I'll just have to pray for her. Well, that's what our mother always said about us. I'll just pray for them. But it's not about praying for them. It's about you stepping up as a parent and first admitting that you're wrong. These females have no type of, they do not take any accountability in the decisions they make. They just don't. They don't take accountability. My sister's a horrible mother. I'm sorry. We've known this over the years. And then you say that you resent our father like crazy. And then you say that the dude that you're dating right now is just like our father. But you're not willing to leave him alone for the sake of your kids. You're not willing to sacrifice for your kids because you want a man around. So you're putting this man over your kids. That's another thing you see with single mothers. They put the man over the kids. I dated my ex. She had 2 kids, 2 different baby daddies. And I used to tell her, like, listen, man, your daughter wants to hang out with you. Her daughter kept trying to hang out with her daughter, like 12 years old at the time. Kept wanting to hang out with her mother, spend mother-daughter day with her mother. But her mother wanted to be up under me all the time. I used to tell her, like, man, go hang out with your daughter. I used to try to tell her I would pay for y'all to go hang out with each other. But she refused to do it. The only time she hung out with her daughter is when she was mad at me. That's it. That's the only time. And then that's why I would never date another single mother again. I just can't do it. I can't date a girl with kids. I have no kids. I'm not about to raise your kids. 9 times out of 10, you're going to do a horrible job raising your kids. Uh-oh, is this cat dead? Okay. What's up, little baby? You just out here in the sun, huh? But they do a horrible job raising their kids. Girl, you can't just be out here asleep. Somebody run you just sleep in the alley. This little baby, y'all done seen her probably before. I feed her. It's one of the cats that I feed in the neighborhood. But you just can't be out here, I done lost track of what I was saying. You can't be out here, I thought she was dead, that's why I went and checked on her. So these females, they put dick and coochie over their kids. I see it with every single mother I've ever known. So I will not date a single mother because they're horrible parents and you make horrible decisions, and I'm not about to make those horrible decisions put a damper on my life. I shouldn't have to take all that baggage because you just did not act responsibly. Even when people tried to warn you to act responsibly, you didn't. You always put yourself first. So I see this with single mothers all the time. They put sex over their kids. They put partying over their kids, and it's ridiculous. So, this is why I'm so hard on women, because in a world where women are independent and they're entering the workforce, a lot of them have this idea, well, I don't need a man. My ex was this young chick, that I used to date. She was in her 20s. I think when I started dating her, I was 19, or she was 19 and I was 29. She's 10 years younger than me, or either she was 20 and I was 30. And she used to say all the time, well, if I have a baby, I may not even want the daddy to be around. I just want somebody to get me pregnant and I can raise the child on my own. This crazy ass mentality. And she was the type to prove that she's independent and she can do everything on her own. Though right now she's struggling like crazy. But when she was with me, she had it good. But she did not want to listen to me. And you know what's crazy, man? These women, they'll submit sexually. But when it comes to like submitting and letting the man be the man of the household, they do not want to submit to that. They do not feel like, that's another reason why they throw out religion. That's the reason why these women don't want religion. They don't want anybody giving them any rules or guidance in life. They want to prove that they can do it all on their own, but they can't. They do a horrible job. I don't care what anybody says. They do a horrible job, So when you have all these women entering the world with this independent state of mind and feel like they don't need a man, and so then they have babies out of wedlock and they get pregnant and then they end up being a single mother and they make horrible decisions in the men that they dated, which I feel like that's why I feel like there should be a 2-parent household, because I feel like in order for a boy to date you or even take your hand in marriage, he should have to go through the father. The father should have a decision on who his daughter marries, because a father has a better chance of weeding out the bullshitters, the men that are just going to use you for sex, or guys who will make a better partner. I feel like a father has a better chance of being able to pick out a good husband for you. I just feel that way. So, and I'm sure statistics will show that also. I mean, statistics are showing that, with these women, ever since women have entered the work field and had this independent state of mind, that households are becoming broken. And you have more and more people being raised by single mothers. And that's just what's going to happen when you have these independent women out here. And it's crazy because a lot of these independent women, like I said, are leaning on some type of man. They're leaning on some type of man. Usually a lot of guys, we're just using the woman for sex. We're not using them for anything else but sex a lot of times. But these women, they're going to use you for sex. They're going to use you for money. They're going to use you for your resources. They're going to use you for whatever. They're going to use you up. You know what I mean? There's this lady at my job who literally... so there's a lady at my job. I can just go on single mothers all day, y'all. There's this girl at my job. Her son hates her. He put her on speakerphone the other day. She was super drunk, telling her son, oh, I love you, super drunk, had just left work. He can't stand his mama. He's about ready to cut his mother off. This is what you see with single parents. Now, she has, I don't know how many children she has, but I know she has at least 2 baby daddies. I guarantee you it's probably 3. And she's just a horrible person when it comes to being a mother. And she say it all the time. Oh, I was in these streets. And she say like, bitch, that ain't cute that you was in these streets. And she calls out from work all the time. And she almost died alone in her house. She had a health scare, had a heart attack. And now she's on a mission to try to find a man to live with her and things like that. But girl, I mean, you're going to end up with a shitty man, because no decent man is going to want you. He's going to see all the red flags. Different baby daddies, ghetto, and you can't, you don't have the quality that a good man wants. So a lot of these women who be like, ain't no good man out here, they never look in the mirror. They never take any accountability. My roommate, for example, she takes no accountability. She wants me to be her boyfriend so bad, but I told her, you are not marriage material. So what's the point of you being my girlfriend? You're not what I would consider a good girlfriend. First off, you're in your 30s. You never had kids. You thought it around all your 20s. You got a super high body count. I know this about you. You have a super high body count. She's told me about her past, and I hate to use the past against her, but I'm just being honest. You got a super high body count. You have this independent state of mind where you don't know how to listen, and you feel like you're an independent woman and you don't need a man for nothing. Then why are you so obsessed with trying to be in a relationship with me? Because to tell you the truth, I'm going to use you. And I feel I would tell all men to do this. Use these little lower, like I said in my last video, use these lower mentality as women. Use them to your advantage. I'm sorry, man. That's what you do. I mean, Why not? Why not? Use them to your advantage. I don't take advantage of her because I pay half the bills, but I'm still, the only reason why I ended up here is because I ended up in a situation, you know. Lost my last house. I couldn't walk for, you know, I've said it in plenty of videos, lost my ability to walk for a while. So I lost my house, lost my vehicle, lost my jobs, couldn't work 2 jobs anymore. And, you know, I had to do what I had to do. So this is me on falling off the horse and trying to get back up, which I will. But, you know, why would I want you as a wife? You got a super high body count, probably the same, almost as high as mine. When I met you, you were juggling multiple men. You're not attractive to me. I don't feel like you're attractive. And you have this independent masculine state of mind. Like when I went sober, you threw some weed in my face, knowing how hard it went it took, knowing how much energy I put into leaving weed and alcohol alone. The minute you saw me doing good and saving the money and possibly escaping you threw some weed at me, threw a bag of weed at me, and of course I folded. I gave in. I was weak, so I had to spend like the next 3 or 4 months going sober again because I started smoking and drinking. You know, if you're a drinker or a smoker and you have like addictive personality, all it takes is one blunt or one shot and you're right back to it. And she knew that, and that's what she did to me. And not only that, like she doesn't listen. Like I even tried to like at least be a friend and like, hey, well, listen, at least let's help each other come up in this world. Like we can invest in things together. We can, you can help me on some of my projects that I guarantee you will make money, but you didn't want to do any of that. She didn't. So if you can't even listen to me, and this, you know, and I can't blame her because she's an independent woman, and you know, this is really, even though I'm on the lease, this is her house, you know. So I mean, what can I say? But even if it wasn't her house, she would still have the independent state of mind, and she would move out my house if I demanded these things from her, of course. So you're not wifey material. You don't have any logic. You're horrible with your money. You spend your money horribly on stupid things. You know, you work all this overtime and you do this driving for these little companies to make extra money just to spend it all and still be in debt. And then when I tell you and give you some guidance on, hey, this is how you do it, you ignore me. She saw how well I was doing my money when I was sober. Just like now, you know, I can save when I'm sober. I don't have any addiction that's holding me back except for maybe eating every once in a while. But that's nothing like as far as weed and things like that. So why would I use you? Why would I want you as a girlfriend? And these independent women have to understand that, you know, in these single mother households, which is mostly independent women, even some of them ain't even independent, they're not even good at being independent. But in these households, like you hear said in the manosphere, these women become the man that they want to marry. You know what I mean? And then there you go. There's a struggle of America. All these women wanting to be masculine, wanting to be independent, end up as single mothers, and they ruin society. And you just give a whole new generation of, you know, you got generational wealth. Now you got a whole generation of generational poverty. Just generation after generation, poverty, because no one is being fit for society. No one is being raised properly to fit into society. And this is the reason why, part of the reason why I'm sexist, and this is the reason that I stay away from single mothers. It's a Scrooge, I'm signing off.